There's a village hidden under a dark hill that people have been bypassing for a long time. They say that hundreds of inhabitants used to live there, and now there are not even 10 houses left. They remained empty, windows without glass, doors open as if all those houses had learned to breathe in the meantime. But if one goes there late at night, one can see that some of those abandoned houses are flickering with light, even though there's no one inside. I will tell you what I experienced when I decided to spend the night in that village, and why I swore to myself that I would never go near the hill again. I came at dusk. The sky was gray, and the silence was so deep that I felt as if my chest was pressing. I didn't hear the birds, the wind, or even my footsteps. It was as if everything quieted down to listen to me better. I sat down in front of a house that still had a roof. The door was half open, and the darkness inside seemed thick enough to cut through. As I walked in, I noticed that the room looked as if someone had only left for a minute. A cup on the table was tipped over on its side, a chair pushed back a little, as if someone had stood up suddenly. But the dust on everything was so thick it looked like snow. In one corner of the house, there was an old stove. She was cold. When I turned to examine the walls, I saw something carved into the boards. A bunch of lines, like a long series of vertical lines. For every 5 lines, one crooked circle is incised, as if someone was counting some days, people. Try. I didn't know, but the number was enormous. No human hand could carve it all in one lifetime. The moment I touched it, I heard a whisper. Not loud. It was as if someone had said something a few rooms away, or behind the wall. I didn't make out a word, only a rhythm, as if someone was repeating the same thing, quietly, in a slow, deep voice. Ignoring it, I headed upstairs. The stairs creaked as if they were complaining, but worse was worse. The door moved on its own, as if a gust of wind had opened it, even though there was no wind at all. Then I saw something that briefly took my breath away. On the floor of the first floor, in a circle, lay a pile of bound notebooks, all the same colors, just no titles. I couldn't resist taking one. When I opened it, I saw only one sentence, written dozens and hundreds of times. Don't look out the window after you hear them calling you. I flipped on, but all the pages were the same. And in all those letters, one could see how the author's hand trembled more and more over time. I put the notebook down and looked at the window. It was completely black, as if it were not night, but emptiness. Then I heard the first call. It was my voice. Exactly my voice. And he said my name. Not behind the house. Not below, but directly under the window, as if someone is standing right next to the wall. I knew what the notebook said, but when you hear yourself calling you, in a tone that's exactly the same, just a little deeper, a little slower, there's no rule that can stop you. I approached the window. There was nothing, just darkness. But the darkness seemed alive, as if it wrinkled as I approached. And then the call came again. Loud, clear, unmistakably my voice. But this time he didn't call me by name. This time he said, "I'm behind you." I turned around abruptly. There was no one. But the room was different. The window was no longer where it was. The door was closed, although I had left it ajar. And on the floor, those notebooks were no longer closed. They were all open, and all the pages had a new sentence written in huge, thick, messy letters. "It's late." Then a board broke in the corner of the room. Behind her, blackness could be seen, not a hole, but like matter, as if the darkness had taken shape. It slowly spread across the floor, as if climbing up the room. I started running down the stairs, but the house didn't have the same layout anymore. The door that led outside only led to another room. In that room, again a dark window. The same whisper again. My name again. Every time I touched the doorknob, the house changed shape. One corridor became 3. Doors were disappearing. Walls were closing. It's like he's taken me deeper and deeper into himself. Closer to what called me. The last time I heard my voice, it was so close I could feel my breath in my ear. But he didn't call me anymore. This time he said, "Now you know how long I've been waiting here." When I finally got out and ran outside, and I don't even know how I did it, I turned once to look at the house. Just once. At the window stood a figure of my height, my build, but without a face. Just grimaces made of shadows. And even though it had no mouth, I knew it was smiling. The village was completely silent, but the houses all had lights in the windows. Everything except the one I came out of. Even though I was running out of breath, I heard a voice once more. Not your own, but a voice that imitated mine perfectly. He said, "Give me back what you took." Later, I realized what he meant. When I got home, I found one of those volumes in my jacket that I swore I hadn't brought. When I opened it, there was only one thing written inside. "You know I'll find you." And every night since then, that sentence has come up more and more.